AI is the future of music, whether we want to acknowledge it or not. It's coming, it's here, it's gonna spread like a disease, and I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing.
If I would do something today, I would try to do something new. And if you want to experiment, you have to experiment with the technologies, with the material, with everything you can.
I think there's a real fear around AI at the moment. Like, is AI going to take over? And the way I see it, AI is actually there as a tool, but there always has to be a human that's driving the creativity.
I started off playing instruments at a really young age, and I was interested in all kinds of music throughout my life, but I never really took it as something that I wanted to do professionally because I was so interested in science. But ultimately, it's just about me being curious about the universe and all of the possibilities in the universe, and this curiosity is something that drove me to be scientific about my art and artistic about my science. Having this crazy idea and then just having the playfulness to like exercise it. Because when you're a kid and you're like, let's build like a rocket and like let's see like, and then you just come up with all this like imaginative stuff, but you tend to lose that in your adulthood, especially in sciences. And then it also sometimes as an artist, because even in a creative sphere, a lot of times you're limited by like the tools that you're using.
My name is Baptiste Moulin. I'm doing a workshop today for the next 25 minutes on two different things. The first one will be to present this instrument. That is a string instrument called Rochelle guitar that I've been developing for a few years. And then I'm going to give you a quick tour of an analog mixer and to show you that it's much easier than most what people think.
The whole concept came from a YouTube video I saw about people making speaker out of crystal called Rochelle salt. It's a crystal that was invented in the 1850 by a family. It was used for medications for a while, and then later on they figured out that it was really good with a piezoelectric effect, which is when you have a crystal that you press, it creates a polarity, which is basically a microphone. So you put pressure, you have a signal, and then you put the signal into a preamplifier, then to amplifier, and the idea is I put the crystal between the string and the wood, and so you have a metallic plate, the crystal. The crystal is used as a bridge, and so it takes it's to optimize the energy taken by the string inside the crystal, and then the wood is just to put 2 points on the string, and then this you take like the signal, the string is a minus, the metallic plate is a plus of your jack, going to the jack to the DI or amps or whatever.
When you touch this. And so far it's a fretless instrument, because building your own fret is a huge pain if you try to do that. But I'm still working on getting something a bit, but still the minimum design, the less is always better. But just to give you a sound demonstration. It can be really sensitive, a huge output out of this small microphone, and you can still
chasing up that hill like you do to higher ground.
Portrait XO. I'm a music artist, as a singer-songwriter, producer. I love doing installations as well and exploring emerging technologies like AR, VR, and most recently with AI and exploring all the possibilities of how creative we can get with AI and sound. The exciting thing with AI and just creativity in general, I think it's a really exciting time because there hasn't been anything that came before it in terms of how we use AI for, say, music production. So there are absolutely no rules, and I'm also at the very early stages of exploring and experimenting. Most recently, I collaborated with CJ from DataBots, and we fed a neural network of 1 hour of my vocals, and then that generated 10 hours worth of new audio output based on my voice. Lyrically, I wanted to find out, could this AI brain, is it smart enough to form actual words and sentences and phrases? And so, yeah, that's the first experiment. We're kind of in the process of exploring other ways and combining different things, like what would it sound like to feed a brain hi-hats and birds, like what kind of new audio would come out of that.
I think as the technology behind how we experience music changes, it will change the way that we write music. So we still have a very interesting way of listening to music, as in we are binaural beings. We have a head and two ears. So the way that we listen to music is not in a binaural environment. It's static in a sense. So I think that as we understand more about like how we hear and how our brains interpret music in terms of not just like in the fluid that's vibrating within our ears, but in terms of like how it's correlated to our brain, I think there could be some really interesting ways in which speakers and headphones and our actual listening environments change to the point in which it actually changes the way that we construct music and the way that we experience concerts and the way that we experience sound.
The progression of AI is actually not as crazy as people think it is. For AI to even progress, it's very incremental, and it takes a lot for these increments to happen.
In art, the experimentation is central. Nowadays, you have so many ways to create sound and to transform sound through the software, through the new transducer. You could build a small piezo mic for 80 cents if you just watch one YouTube video and you buy yourself some soldering cable and things as such.
Music is like this mutating sort of retrovirus in a sense. Like it's constantly changing, and what worked yesterday isn't going to work today. It's not going to work tomorrow. The idea that AI, as in an autonomous computer that is self-learning and can take in data and then analyze that data and continue to expand past its programming, is something that is already transforming our lives currently in a global sense in terms of like the technologies that already exist. And so it's only a matter of time that it's incorporated into the entertainment industry.